everybody. I hope you guys are having a great start to a new year. It's year 3 into our pandemic. There's so many things that are unknown to us, and I think we're all navigating this crazy time together. But I think you and everybody would agree that we are evolving, growing, learning, navigating this new territory. There is no doubt in my mind that there has to be some revolutionary changes, and it's a time for everything to kind of become destructive so that we can rebuild our systems back up in a way with trust, integrity, and all the things that we are all desperately seeking. And I think we all want some stability and security back in our lives, but this sort of shaky times has taught us that we can all go through it, but there's definitely some unraveling going on, and there's a lot of necessary transformations and necessary, I suppose, experiences that we all are meant to have at this time. So through this time, remember that you've always got yourself, and this is a time to really be self-empowered from within. I will be sharing more of my journey, health journey, in the last 6 months. It hasn't been easy, but I've navigated through. I learned a lot, and I realized a lot, and I have been able to really reflect on what really truly the gap is in our industry as a whole, and what my vision is for the future of our alkaline methodology. And so today I want to kind of give you a background of the alkaline method, how it came to be, why we need this integrative approach, and why I'm stepping forward to really go full force with my brand, training, as well as solutions for our patients as well. So I just want to share that I've always been a health fanatic, but I assumed, because I was an immigrant, not knowing English and culturally completely unaware of how things were here in America, I think I tend to go into every situation thinking that everybody else knows better than me. And in my mind, it's like I have to work twice or 3 times as hard as anybody else just to catch up to where they are, because I always felt like there was a lag in my ability to speak the language. And so I really obsessed over this insecurity of mine. And so that became the foundation for my belief system that really tells me that I lack. And through this process, and fast forward to today, I recognized that all those insecurities were unnecessary, that it was all stories in my mind. And as I get to know myself better, I wasn't living in my true alignment and truth. And not perhaps, I know without a shadow of a doubt that that's why physiologically I've gotten this autoimmune condition, and it flares up and down because I never managed to truly heal from the traumatic experiences and really reset my body in a way where it's fully aligned with who truly I am. So as a health fanatic, I believed all my life health was something that we were born with, but also something that we can optimize by doing all the things that we ought and should be doing, such as eating healthy and exercising. That's what I thought in a nutshell, right? I didn't like going into the spiritual woo-woo side, but secretly I was always seeking the spiritual side. I was always drawn to the books, self-improvement books, because I felt unworthy for whatever reason. But little did I know that healthy habits, such as eating and exercise without the right intention and balance, can also be taken to the extreme to be destructive to the health and vitality that we have. And there's so much growing confusion around what's healthy and what's unhealthy. And there's so many dogmatic stances, from plant-based diets to veganism, vegetarianism. There's a spectrum, keto diets to paleo diet, our ancestral diet, right? Eat animals, don't eat animals, carbon footprint or not. So there is a lot of back and forth. So as somebody who has entrenched herself in the science and education, because for me, I have a very logical mind and I need to be able to process, but I also have a very, what do you call it? Right-brained mind and creative mind where I can pick up a lot of things. And I'm always curious about connecting the dots between the disciplines, is why I ended up studying so many fields in my education. And truth be told, sometimes I'm just as confused at times at the claims being made by non-experts that make, radical claims, and they have raving testimonials that can't be denied and a large fan base on social media. The truth is that there is no one-size-fits-all diet or healthy lifestyle for everyone. Just like the COVID pandemic and the controversy that it's stirring up, we can't really force something to be true for everybody. This is because we all have individual differences, both genetically, epigenetically, culturally, geographically, genderly, ethnically, age-wise, and so many other factors. And life really poses different challenges for each and every individual, and coping mechanisms differ for all of us, and it affects us differently. And research in studying dietetics and wellness for the last 30 years, I've learned that health is something that must be achieved from self-awareness. It's not just about eating, exercising, and doing all the right things. It's about the integration of your whole body, the mind, body, and spirit, and aligning with your true self to cultivate love from within ourselves to drive the very behaviors in our lives. Healthy behavior can't be sustained by willpower. It's only possible to be healthy by being healthy, which is very different from doing all the healthy behaviors. At our core, our beliefs root us in our thinking, which then elicits our feelings, which then triggers our behavior to create the results in our lives. So unless we address our beliefs, whys of driving our behavior, the core of why we do what we do, because a lot of that is subconsciously driven. And unless we bring awareness to those things, we cannot be intentional, right, about what we want to accomplish. And many of you guys live unintentionally seeking answers outside of you from social media influencers and the likes. As that population grows, we end up following their regimen, which may not be suitable for us, right? But it's important to own our own thoughts, own our own belief systems, and challenge those beliefs if they don't serve us anymore, and really be intentional about our thoughts so that we can have better feelings to generate healthy behavior to create ultimately the results that we want in our lives. That includes health. Knowing this and studying each individual discipline from psychology, nutrition, physical therapy, functional medicine, macrobiotics, to everything in between, Pilates, yoga, and all the things, I always felt something missing with my career. Don't get me wrong. The pay was good. The opportunities were abundant as a job. However, it was not fulfilling on the inside because I had questions. So I got busy seeking answers, and as a result, found the functional medicine, Pilates, yoga, meditation. But the further I immersed myself in this, the more I realized how fragmented and ineffective our trainings can be. Yet, most of my colleagues were buying into the dogmas of each discipline. And the more I tried to integrate, the more I was discouraged from stepping out of my scope of practice. So let me explain what scope of practice is. It's defined as the procedures, actions, and processes that healthcare practitioners are permitted to undertake in keeping with the terms of their professional license. The scope of practice is limited to that which the law allows for specific education and experience and specific demonstrated competency. The law does not define or dictate biology, physiology, psychology, spirituality. It does not define human experience. The law is intended to provide the system of rules which a particular country or community recognizes as regulating the actions of its members and which it may enforce by the imposition of penalties. So a lot of healthcare practitioners are always looking for liabilities, and we're trained to be evidence-based, but that evidence is so limiting and it's dogma, and it doesn't provide us with the possibilities of full body healing. It only limits us to our discipline, which then further divides our human body, leaving us as patients to be seeking different solutions for different problems from different specialists, and then the problem ensues. As I gained more clinical experience as well as personal experience navigating the healthcare system with an autoimmune condition, the more it became clear to me that the fragmented approach does not provide solutions for those of us seeking holistic healing. All I wanted to do was heal. All I wanted to prove was that I can reverse my condition. I kept getting drawn to the missing pieces of the puzzle in my own well-being, as well as for those who I served, my patients, and began to put the pieces together to create what Alkaline Method is today. So human experience involves our beliefs, thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and results, as I mentioned. We are what we repeatedly think, and our thoughts are deeply conditioned from a young age. And our programming then is subconscious, meaning it's not conscious to us. We're not aware of our deeply seated beliefs driving our behaviors. There's a layer of superficiality in each and every one of us to mostly feel worthy enough to fit in. And so we're always looking for social proof. We're always looking for worthiness to belong somewhere, right? But we all have various degrees of trauma in our lives that we experience, which serve to protect our identity in this world. Our experiences, however traumatic, becomes the truth that become the seed for our shame, guilt, self-loathing, and self-betrayal. Our lives become the survival mechanism to hide who we truly are. We consciously live our lives to be accepted and loved from external sources. Our healthy and not so healthy behaviors become the survival mechanisms that ultimately serve to provide false sense of protection from our own truths. Running from the truth becomes the theme in our lives. And anxiety, worry, fear, and a constant state of insecurity now becomes the baseline for our state of being. And from that place, we can accomplish well-being or health. This is what triggers our autonomic nervous system, specifically the sympathetic nervous system that can drive our bodies towards disease. And this is a common theme across all our autoimmune patients today, as well as many other diseases. Regaining health conventionally or holistically isn't about following a specific dogmatic ways of eating, exercising, meditating, or living, whatever that looks like. Healing starts with awareness, and it's a process of self-exploration that requires an integrative approach that's right for you. It's unique for each individual, and we must start with self-love. Health and well-being requires first being who you truly are and loving yourself. And to reach a state of self-love, you must cultivate self-awareness. And the Alkaline Method is all about reaching a state of well-being that is perfect for you, stems from the inside, because we believe inherently healing is an inside job. There are 4 essential elements with 3 respective pillars within each element to provide a framework and tools that one can follow to reach a state of self-love and self-actualization, because that's the ultimate path for self-empowered healing. So the first element to the Alkaline methodology involves inner awakening. This is all about the inner work of knowing who you are, not the pretense of who you think you ought or should or must be in this world, but who you truly are, for you to really provide yourself with the permission to shine as you are with no judgment or opinions. Sans all the conditioning that you have, it's almost a deconditioning process. And it involves 3 pillars. Number 1 is awareness of who you are. It's self-exploration to know the foundational truth of who you are, asking yourself who you truly are, what really, really matters to you, not what other people said should matter to you, but what really, truly matters to you. Okay. And then from that place, living and doing everything in alignment that really is living out your truth is super important for you to find synergy and a vibrational frequency within to prevent any disease and to provide self-actualization and self-growth and self-love. Okay. And then you need to get really clear through this process. The 3rd pillar is the core values. You need to know what your core values are. Now, please keep in mind the awareness, alignment, and core as we practice the yogic side, the movement side, because we have to move to enhance our health. It applies to our physical body as well as our emotional, psychological, and spiritual bodies. So inner awakening is a process. It's a framework and tools that I give you to find the truth of your being. We do utilize what's called the human design element to really understand our individual differences, to learn more about you from an energetic level, to enhance who you are, not to condition you a different way. So again, deconditioning is absolutely necessary through this work. Second element of the alkaline methodology involves outer manifestation. Understanding the 3 pillars here is polarity, understanding there's yin and yang, and all the feelings, dynamics of sadness and happiness, joy and insecurity, or joy and unhappiness, anxiety, worry. All the spectrums of feelings must be felt. That life is all about life and death. It's a polarity of yin and yang. We need both opposite polarity. The dichotomy of life is understood here. And then the second pillar in this outer manifestation is all about finding your breath and being present in the moment. Because oftentimes we live in the past, stuck in the past. And then the future, right? Future is lived based on your conditioning from the past. You're creating more of the same. So if the more you can be present here today, you can develop a new future from a place of inner awakening, knowing truly who you are, which foot to go forward, and really living your design, why you're meant to be here, as opposed to why you think and ought and shoulds, and living from a place of intellect, the thinking brain, the egocentric brain. We really learn about our core values and really understanding that our inner awakening allows us the truth of who we are to step into manifesting our destiny, right? So breath is all about that presence. 3rd pillar in the outer manifestant, the second element of the alkaline methodology, the 3rd pillar is balance. Balance is all about self-love. It's all about coming back to yourself, coming back home, to understand no matter what it looks like for everybody else, no comparison, jealousy, no judgments, opinions, you only live your truth. And in this way, the more you have compassion towards yourself and self-love, the more you can extend to other people and give other people permission to live out their destinies as well. Not try to be like you, second version of somebody else, but you become now the first version of yourself, really stepping into your power. That's what the first 2 elements of the alkaline methodology is all about. Then the 3rd element of the alkaline methodology is all about applying the modern medicine, right? There's 3 pillars there, kind of sums down everything that I learned from macrobiotics, functional medicine, integrative medicine, integrative nutrition, all the things that I've learned in the medical sciences, including physical therapy, is that number 1 is all about stress brain, learning how to mitigate our stressors in our lives and understanding how the stress brain can then trigger the 2nd pillar, which is the gut brain, affecting our microbiome, our dietary changes, and the absorbability and the nutrient density and all the nutrients that we have, that we talk about the leaky gut affecting our neurotransmitters, right? And then we bring it into calming the immune system and strengthening the immune system, the third pillar of the modern medicine. It's really simplified form, because once you understand that stress brain driving the gut brain and then interacting with the immune brain to cause inflammation, once you understand how to mitigate those three factors and find balance from within, utilizing modern medicine in this way, everything starts to click. And then lastly, last element of the alkaline methodology is all about connecting the ancient wisdom, using yoga as a practice to be present through movement, to clear out all the metabolic pathways. Yoga, as defined by the alkaline methodology, is your opportunity for growth and abundance. And then we utilize energy healing, understanding your specific human design, and understanding and loving and being more full of who you are without shame, guilt, or any of that, unapologetically. And then the third pillar of the ancient wisdom piece or element of the alkaline methodology is silence and meditation. Because unless you silence your thinking brain, you can't really know your inner truth. And so being present requires you to silence the mind, taking a step back from all the input that we get from the external world. I want you to understand that many disciplines and dogmas have various degrees of their framework, but ultimately are very limiting in their approach, failing to incorporate the whole body healing. They're much more about defending their own dogmas than integration. So it's very fear-based and it's very limiting. Alkaline Method, on the other hand, aims to bridge the gap between dichotomy and polarity that is inherent in life itself. It respects natural order, individuality, diversity of all sorts, and most importantly, brings you back home, ultimately to yourself. I believe that human beings, we lack the self-worthiness from lacking self-love. And self-love is the beginning of self-healing journey. Through Alkaline Method Academy that I created, we provide certifications and training for health practitioners, provide integrative lifestyle solutions for autoimmune patients, and have a bold vision to heal the world by empowering as many individuals as possible to finally heal from the inside out and thriving in their lives, living their own individual truths. If this resonates with you, please subscribe to our channel. I have both Mind Your Health podcast as well as Functional Yoga Medicine podcast, where I share tips and bits and pieces to integrate all the elements and pillars of the alkaline methodology. Subscribe to our channel. It helps to spread the word. And it's time to be bold. This world needs more healing so we can change generations of our broken healthcare system as we really work to restructure and rebuild our lives back after this challenging time. But it was going to only make us more resilient and stronger. And I think we need to now ultimately come together. But it's time to really gain the power from within. I just want to thank you so much for watching. And I would love it. And it would mean the world to me if you can subscribe to our channels. You can find me at my Instagram. My handle is at Dr. Connie Chung. Cheung is my last name. And I will see you guys next week. If you haven't done so, we have free training for those of you who may be suffering from autoimmune conditions or not diagnosed, but have some autoimmunity issues or mysterious symptoms. We have a free training with the link below, and it starts next Monday. And it's going to be a comprehensive training for over 7 days. Don't want to miss it. I hope to see you there. What a way to kick off a new year for those of you who are curious, both practitioners and the patients alike. It's a different approach. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys all next week. Bye for now.